Hello, music producers. Welcome back to the series Basics of Equalization in FL Studio. In this tutorial, we'll learn about the filter techniques in parametric EQ2 or any equalizers that you use. So let's get started. So let's start with the tutorial. As you can see that I have loaded a sample onto FL Studio. Now I want to equalize it. So let's click on it. I've already sent it to a mixer channel, which is channel number 41. Let's open the mixer track. Here it is. I have named this channel Melody so that we can understand it clearly. So let's add a plugin. First I'll delete this. Okay, so click on it. Click on the drop down arrow. Then select your plugin, which is parametric EQ2, and then it's here. So as you can see, when I play, the sample plays and the display also shows the frequencies that are available in the sample so that we can equalize it easily. So now that we've loaded our plugin into FL Studio and the sample is ready to be equalized. So let's understand what is high pass filter. High pass filter is creating a cutoff point so that the higher frequencies can pass through easily while the lower frequencies get attenuated below the cutoff point and making it more clearer and brighter. So let's say we want to clear out the low end in this sample. As you can hear, there is a bit of low end, and let's say I don't want that. So I'll create a high pass filter, which is by right clicking on the first band, then selecting high pass. Here it is. This is high pass filter, which is creating a gentle slope or cutoff point below which the low end is going to get quieter and the high end is going to pass through so that we can hear it more clearly, and the low end gets quieter. So let's see an example. I'm playing it. You can hear the low end here, but when I pull it more to the right, you can see the low end gets more quiet and you can only hear the higher frequencies which are present in the sample. And when I pull it back again, you can hear the low frequencies back again. So that is high pass filter. Now you can also create slopes in order to make it more prominent and more clear. You can select the steepness of the curve, which is this is a very steep high pass filter. So when I do this, nothing below this point is passing through, so that you cannot hear the low end or any frequencies below that point. High pass filters are very useful for vocals or instruments with very high frequencies, like or transient instruments, just like hi-hats or snares, or any vocals which with very low rumble, which you don't want in your mix because it can create a very muddy sound and unclear mix. So that is why we use high pass filters in our mix. So that was high pass filter. So now let's go to low pass filter. So in the low pass filter, it is completely opposite of what we did in high pass filter. In high pass filter, we were letting the high frequencies pass through and the lower frequencies were getting quieter and we're getting attenuated. But in the low pass filter, it's completely opposite. We are going to let the lower frequencies pass through this time, and the harsh high frequencies which we don't need are going to get attenuated, which is completely opposite. So let's see. As you can hear, there are higher frequencies available in this region, and let's say we don't need this. So we'll create a low pass filter, which is by going to type and selecting low pass. So as you can see, it created a slope again, but this time the slope is on the right side, which means anything after this slope is going to get quiet or attenuated, and anything before this slope you can hear them. So let's see. As you can hear the higher frequencies, but when I now you can hear the higher frequencies, but when I pull this to the left, you can only hear the low end rumble or the low end frequencies which are in this region, and the higher frequencies are getting quiet and more quiet. But when I pull this back, you can hear the strings, the instruments which are present here, and the melodies which are present here. You can also create a slope here just like we did in high pass filter. It can be steep, very steep slope, so that anything below after this point gets completely cut out, and before this point is available to the ears. And when you pull this to the left or the right, you can also see the hertz or the frequencies, or the frequency in which the band is positioned right now. So now it is on 12K, and when I pull it back, it's going down, which is very simple. I hope you understand. So that was low pass filter. We use low pass filter so that we can hear the bass sounds more clearly, which means when you are equalizing a drum sample like kick or a bass sound, you don't need the higher frequencies which are available here, but you need the frequencies which are available in this region. So we'll clear out the frequencies which are here so that the bass or the kick sound gets more clear and more audible to the ear, and the noise which are here is gone, so that it clears up more space for the sounds which has higher frequencies and needs to be equalized and needs to be more clearer in that region. So the kick and the bass has their own part, and the transient noise like snares or hi-hats have their own part, so that there's no clash in frequencies and the mix is more clearer to the ear and everything is on point. So that was low pass filter. So now let's get to the band pass filter. So the next part is the band pass filter, which is a very easy thing and very easy to understand. In order to make a band pass filter or add a band pass filter, first let's hear the sample. As you can hear, there are both higher frequencies and the lower frequencies, which means the low end rumble is also there, and the bass noise are also there, and the higher strings, higher instruments which are present is also there. So now let's say we don't want both of them. We don't want the lower part, or we don't want the higher parts. So in order to do that, we'll create a band pass filter. Just select the band you want to make a band pass filter and select band pass. So now you can see both the lower and the higher frequencies are getting cut off, and only the mid, and here you can see the name of the frequency region, only the mid part is available. So let's hear it. You can understand that only the mid part or the mid region is getting passed through, so that we don't hear the lower sounds or the higher sounds. You can make it a narrow band, or you can create create a shelf, or you can create a narrow band, or you can create a more wide band. Okay, so that was band pass. You can also you can also make it a narrow band or a more wide band filter. That's up to you. That's up to the goal which you are trying to achieve by equalizing the sample or the audio or anything which you are mixing. So that was high pass, low pass, and the band pass filters in parametric EQ2 in FL Studio 20. So I hope you understood what high pass is or what low pass is and how to use it. So let's do a quick recap. The first one is the high pass filter, which you are going to use to cut off the lower frequencies and let the higher frequencies pass through. The second one is the low pass filter, in which you are going to cut off the higher frequencies and let the lower frequencies pass through. And the band pass, in which you are going to cut off both the low and the higher frequencies so that you can hear the mid-range frequencies more clearly. So that was basic filter techniques in equalization in FL Studio 20. I hope you learned a lot from this video, and I hope this will make your mix sound more clear and clean. Let me know in the comment section what you want to learn next, and I'll make a video on that soon. Till then, subscribe to this channel for more tutorials and more music production content, and I'll see you next week with another tutorial of equalizers. Till then, I'm Rishi, and this is Produced with Ease.